Zoom and Skype calls, they've become synonymous with work amid COVID-19, but they appear to be wearing you down. And an NTU study has found that the use of video conferencing apps during the pandemic has led to more fatigue among workers. Now, almost half of the respondents reported being overwhelmed, tired, or drained by the use of such apps. Joining us tonight to shed more light on this through a video conferencing app, no less, is Assistant Professor Benjamin Lee. He's from NTU's We Can We School of Communication and Information. Good evening, Professor Lee. Why is video conferencing, why are these apps fatiguing workers like us so much?
Thanks, Don. So right now, what we have found is that there are two factors. One is the frequency of the meetings that people are engaging themselves in. And the second factor is in terms of the duration of the meetings. So once you have more meetings and once these meetings are longer, you tend to pack them back to back in a day. And that creates fatigue, that creates exhaustion in our workers. Another factors that we have found include what we call mirror anxiety. And this is where you keep on checking yourselves on camera, seeing how you look, because there is a need in individuals to want to look better in front of their co-workers, in front of their bosses. And so there's this constant need to check and see how you look and how you appear. And the other factor which can influence and cause video conference fatigue is what we call hyper gaze, where you have all these different faces looking back at you. So when there's all these different faces looking at you, it creates a lot more eye contact. It creates more stress and social anxiety among our workers.
So, Professor Lee, I mean, it's been some time now since we've been video conferencing more in our lives, and I've done it 3 times today already, and what we're doing right now is a form of it. This study was conducted in December 2020. Have attitudes changed? Is it about just changing your attitude in order to cope better?
Unfortunately, we don't have the latest data in terms of the attitudes towards video conferencing and video conferencing apps. But with the loosening of measures and people coming back to workplaces, we are still hearing of how there are companies that are still encouraging some form of work from home arrangements. And the workers themselves also prefer these arrangements as it allows them more flexibility in their schedules. So what our results show is that perhaps employers and workers need to be mindful of some of these impacts of excessive video conferencing on their physical and mental well-being.
So there needs to be some kind of balance. There needs to be a quota of some sort, some kind of limitations here is what I hear you say. How can they manage to do that, though? I mean, what kind of equation do they have to build in order to know what the right amount is in order to take care of the well-being of their employees?
Well, I think that's a difficult question to answer because everybody has different levels of tolerance. Some people might just be more used to having more screen time and having more meetings So a lot of it depends on individuals. But maybe some of the recommendations that we can make is if you can set timers or alerts. Some video conferencing apps such as MS Teams, they kind of give you a reminder when you pass your meeting time. And so these are good nudges and reminders for employers and employees alike that maybe it's time to give our meeting a break and to just stop it if it goes beyond our scheduled meeting times.
Yeah, that's good advice, setting some limits. Professor Lee, thank you very much for talking to me this evening about this issue. Speaking there to Assistant Professor Benjamin Lee from NTU's We Can We School of Communication and Information.